The Oilers take a mean spill in a treacherous sea of red, white, and blue.
And the Bills are just one win away from the Super Bowl.
Good evening, everyone. For Buffalo, this is a new year unlike any other.
For the Buffalo Bills, it is a brand new season now with only 4 teams left in the hunt for the biggest prize in professional football, a Super Bowl championship. And after yesterday's stunning playoff victory over the Oilers out at Rich Stadium, the Bills look more than ever like they are really going to be Super Bowl bound. Hail the conquering heroes. They came like so many gladiators into an arena filled with frenzied fans. They cheered the pillars of the Bills' blizzard defense. They went crazy for Bruce. And they were wild for the troublemaker called the Biscuit. They were mean and meaning to win, but no meaner than the Super Bowl hungry crowd. Many of them willing to lose their shirts for the sweet taste of victory. It was clear that this home team was ready for its day in the sun, that the fans would not be denied. In the stands, those red, white, and blue pom-poms took a beating, while the Oilers met a wall of opposition on the field.
Here's the snap, and the punt is blocked, and it's loose and rolling, and the Bills will get the ball.
But to win a do-or-die game like this one, you have to put enough of your own points on the board. Kelly and company were happy to oblige with an attack that went by air and by ground. A soaring Kelly pass to Trumaine Johnson. A penetrating run by Thurman Thomas. And a never-say-die end-zone push by Rob Reddick.
And here is Riddick, and Riddick dives down close to the goal line, and he fell over the line, and there's been no touchdown. Now they get it. It's a touchdown.
The Bills can't say enough to thank the fans for their support. In fact, the Jills themselves were no competition for the players in the cheerleading department. And the fans were happy to oblige, turning up the noise in a wave of distraction that never seemed to quit. What's the Bills' cure for a house of pain? 2 aspirin and plenty of sack time. The Bills were a big hit. And the jaws of defeat were fast closing on Jerry Glanville, the Houston coach, appropriately attired in black. Through all this insanity, Santa Claus came by to enjoy Buffalo's best Christmas present, even if it was a little late. And while they clowned around, monkeyed around, and practically undressed in the stands, even the Gipper was rooting for a Bills win. The man in charge of the Bills' sideline brain trust just kept his cool as the minutes ticked down to a hard-earned victory. Fred, the football philosopher, got a plug from the fans, who were more than 79,000 strong in the Bills' house of noise. And the Bills loved every minute of it.
How was it? Win for both?
You liked my get-up yesterday.
Yeah, you looked really good up there. I saw the victory earrings, too. I like that. Nice touch.
The Bills' earrings gave them good luck. I'm
Nice
going to
touch.
wear them again. The Bills' next stop is Cincinnati's Riverfront Stadium. Preparations for the road trip have already begun. But if you're looking for tickets, good luck. News 4's Richard Reeve tells us there are literally none to be found here in Buffalo without a lot of wheeling and dealing.
This is the city, Cincinnati, where the Bills will play the next game more than 400 miles from home turf. Where only last week scalpers were taking a beating, this week there's no public ticket sale, even for long-distance Bills fans.
We'll wait outside to get them if not. There were tickets here yesterday, and there will be tickets there. Probably get abused a little, but it'll be worth it.
This morning, much of yesterday's gridiron glory was being scraped off the bleachers at Rich Stadium. But cleanup crews preparing the stands for winter say the Bills are ready for warmer climates.
Yeah, I think it's looking good.
What about next week? What's going to happen, you think?
I'd like to see them do it, and I think they can if they play like they did yesterday.
Only yesterday, this was the place to be. And today, well, Rich Stadium is undergoing a little nasty weather. But the Bills are looking ahead to next week in hopefully a warmer climate in the unfriendly confines of Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati.
Do they have any or no?
But fans visiting Rich Stadium today quickly found out what team insiders already know, that literally all of Cincy's 800 designated visitors seats will be gone by the public sale Thursday.
Bottom line is there won't be any, because we have a lot of fellas from the Midwest and the Mid-South
the players use virtually all the tickets.
Some local travel agencies are already reaping the benefits of advanced ticket deals. Buffalo Sports Entertainment Express has access to 100 tickets as part of a travel package.
We got our tickets through some various ticket agencies down there that we've kept very close connections with. And let's just say we had some sports intuition that the Bills were going to go this far.
For most of us, though, the action on the field will be a remote experience. Remote control, that is, on our television sets. Richard Reeve, News 4, Buffalo.
Bills fans had to watch on TV as their team went down to defeat the last time they played in Cincinnati. And as Rich Newberg tells us, the Bills will be looking for some sweet revenge in next Sunday's all-important rematch.
4 weeks ago at Riverfront Stadium, in the final minutes of the game, this sack ends the Bills' chances to come back. The Bills have a score to settle with the Bengals.
We have something to pay back for them, that's for sure. I think the defense feels they have something to pay back, and the whole team does. It's going to be a hard game. If we can limit our mistakes and try to score on them as fast as possible, because they have the #1 offense, and I believe we have a good chance of beating them.
Yesterday at Rich Stadium, the Bills begin their momentum on the road to the Super Bowl. Jim Kelly says his performance against Houston was one of his best and confesses the air attack game plan at the start of the contest surprised not only the fans, but also the players.
It definitely was a surprise, not only to me, but I bet to the whole Oilers defense and their team, because we used to come out, run the ball in first down, not passing as much, but we saved some of our schemes for the playoffs, and it definitely surprised everybody, including myself.
The Bills won the first round of the playoffs without star defenseman Shane Conlon, who told me today he thinks that sprained arch of his might be healed well enough to play against Cincinnati.
I'm looking to play. I think the doctors are hopeful too, so I'm really looking to play.
The Bills must now leave the security of home field advantage and head for the stadium they call the Jungle. But counter that with a team fired up for sweet revenge against Cincinnati, and you have a Bills team ready for the showdown.
We're going down there with a clean slate. We both have one victory in the playoffs. It's a dead heat, and we both have everything to lose and everything to gain, so it's going to be a heck of a contest with a lot of emotion. Unlike it was last time we came out flat, I don't think it will. I think it's going to be an even contest all the way, and the breaks will tell the difference.
Well, everybody realizes what our goal is, and that's to make it to the big one, but in order to get there, you have to go through Cincinnati, and it's going to be a tough test, but I think we're up for it. It's just a matter of us going in there and doing and playing our kind of game.
It was a Bills kind of game at Rich Stadium on Sunday, and Jim Kelly says there's no doubt about it. The Bills are a Super Bowl team. We saw it in the faces of the players after yesterday's victory. Now we must see it on the gridiron in Cincinnati and emerge from the Jungle victorious. Rich Newberg, News 4, Buffalo.
We were talking about tickets a little bit earlier. What tickets will Marine Midland Bank be selling tomorrow to the Bills game in Cincinnati? Well, most readers of the Buffalo News were asking that question after reading an ad today in today's sports section. Well, as Doug Smith tells us now, their tickets issued under the mixed-up provisions of Murphy's Law.
80,000 fans at least would say, what? Tickets to the playoffs? Now that's worth cheering about. So what does today's newspaper carry but a huge ad telling you just where to go to get them? Now for the bad news. It was all a mistake. Poor Marilyn Singer spent the whole day trying to explain.
And the ad was supposed to run if Cincinnati lost and we won. And of course Cincinnati won as well, which means the game will be played there, and there are no tickets available here at this point. So the ad ran inadvertently.
So don't come to this bank looking for tickets tomorrow. Any suggestions, Marilyn?
My best advice is there will be some tickets coming into town Wednesday, and they'll go to players and staff first.
So if you're looking for playoff tickets, well, you can tell it to Kelly. You can even tell it to Marv. Just don't tell it to the Marine. Doug Smith, News 4, Buffalo.
That is a tough mistake to make.
Still ahead, Ted Texter says, think white. We've got more on the way.
And Van Miller will be along in just a moment with more on that great day in the sun out at Rich Stadium.
Well, I think they'll have to stop them from running because every time Cincinnati's beaten us, they've killed us with their running game. So if Shane Conlon's healthy and they can stop the run, I think they could beat them.
A joint effort. Everybody play ball,
Okay.
Defense big and offense tough.
If they come out like firing, like they did with Houston, a lot of offense, that they'll do it.
bring on the Bengals, on to Cincinnati. It was a beautiful win on a beautiful day. The Bills had a little trouble a couple of times when they were down around the goal line getting it into the end zone, but not on this play. Rob Riddick pushing and tugging and shoving and backing in, made it 7-0 in the second quarter, and the Bills were on their way to what should have been a lopsided win. Thurman Thomas, a nice block there, runs 11 yards. It went to 14-3, and the Bills went on to win it 17-10. And Glenn Walker and Brian Blessing have more on the big win. Brian.
With no tomorrows for the loser, the Bills let it all hang out from the opening gun.
When we were marching on the field, we threw like 8 in a row or something like that. I was like, God, I like this.
But in the first quarter, playoff jitters killed one drive, and a 4th-and-goal gamble came up empty.
First call was mine. We initially thought we were going to go for a field goal. We saw that the quarter was nearly over. Had time to think about it. Called a pass play because I thought it had a pretty good chance. It was, I think we're in the 2-yard line, but we had inches to go for a first down. They defensed it well.
It was a gamble, but Marv Levy had an ace in his back pocket. The Oilers knew the Bills' defense would be coming. They just didn't know from where.
We knew that they were going to have a certain strategy to stop me, and therefore moving me around on the line of scrimmage, that would allow me to do some things that also would screw them up, sort of.
Early in the second quarter, Smith snuffed an Oilers drive, dropping Warren Moon for a 13-yard loss. Special teams then turned in the first of many big plays when Leonard Smith broke through to block the punt.
We ran a different type of stunt, and I was happened to come open, and the guy that should have got a hand on me didn't get enough on me, and I was able to run by him and get to the punter.
That is the way it went most of the afternoon. The Bills' special teams and defense set the stage by controlling the field position, causing 3 turnovers and blocking 2 kicks. The Bills' offense took advantage of the opportunities. The Oilers missed on what few opportunities they were allowed.
We had to take up some slack. The offense, came out and played tough football today, but we got stopped in some key situations. But the defense and the special teams came back out and did some great things for us today.
We lost to Chicago, we lost to Cincinnati. Everybody was saying those teams are better than us. So this gives us an opportunity to redeem ourselves and go out and play well.
So the Bills and their fans go home happy as they have done all season here at Rich Stadium, a perfect 9-0 on home turf. But next week, it's on the road to the jungle for a battle with the Cincinnati Bengals with the AFC Championship on the line and a trip to the big one down in Miami. At Rich Stadium, Glenn Walker, News 4 Sports.
From one post-game extreme to the other, while the Bills' locker room was filled with happy faces, in the visitors' locker room, the Oilers could only think about what could have been.
The Oilers have a lot of experience with Cincinnati, and now they know the Bills quite well. And Houston gives the Bills a good shot at picking up a victory at Riverfront.
Well, Cincinnati team get out the blocks very quickly, so I think the Bills have to control the score. The first, second quarter is the key. Cincinnati's first few series, they get hot, to be a long day. But I think the Bills have a defense that can contain Boomer and Cincinnati.
I think the key is stopping Boomer's size, and I think if they can hold Boomer, do the job they did against us, against Cincinnati, I don't think they'll have any problem against them.
The Bills certainly earned the Oilers' respect yesterday, and now it's time to show another AFC Central team what Buffalo's made of when the Bills shoot for the Super Bowl at Cincinnati. Brian Blessing, News 4 Sports.
Well, I'll tell you, the special teams were really special yesterday. They were the greatest single factor in that win. Once again, the defense played superbly. Jim Kelly, I thought, had an excellent game, some drop balls. The offense made some big plays and then misfired close to the goal line, unfortunately. But it was a fitting climax to a perfect home season, and it is on to Cincinnati. Hey, Bruce Smith and Cornelius Bennett of the Bills named co-defensive players of the year in the AFC today by United Press International.